We human beings are intrinsic constituents of the natural environment. It vitally sustains us, yet we grossly disrespect it. By living out our supermarket, vacuum-packed GM lives, we are removed from the nurturing, bounty-endowing, omni-provisioning of the natural world. Further to this, our species is the only one which, if wiped out in the blink of an eye, the Earth would inevitably flourish. Environmental catastrophes are transpiring on an unrelenting basis, albeit perceptually behind the scenes, including but not limited to global warming, ice cap meltings and flooding, landfill dumping, plastic accumulation in oceans, acidifying rains and oceans, ozone impairment, overpopulation, all phenomena which, if a foresightful, moral, sustainable attitude were assumed, would have been avoidable. Some environmentalists avidly advocate that a meat-free, plant-based vegan diet is one of the single most meaningful impacts you can make on the environment. Here I will fire through a host of astonishing facts about anthropogenic drivers of our environmental misfortune, focusing on climate change, Amazon deforestation, ozone depletion, and desertification. In November 2006, the UN released an article headlining that cows produce considerably more greenhouse gases than the entire transport industry. Cows are responsible for releasing methane, a compound up to 100 times more atmospherically destructive than carbon dioxide. We are bombarded by messages about carbon footprint, but what about our methane hoofprint? Over 50% of greenhouse gas emissions are attributable to animal agriculture versus fossil fuels, where the industry is estimated to emit 150 billion gallons of methane per year, making it technically the number one contributor to climate change. In terms of water wastage, the production of one hamburger swallows up an impressive 3,000 litres, calculating to over 11,300 litres for a single pound of beef. Cheese can require approximately 4,500 litres, while you need 1,000 times the volume of water per volume milk produced. An environmental scientist theorised that elephants were the central cause of the desertification problem in Zimbabwe, estimating 40,000 killed elephants to solve the problem. After 14 years of this uncontrolled assassination, the desertification was as rife as it ever was. Around 120,000 pounds of animal waste is ejected into the oceans per year in the US, generating the effect known as nitrogen flooding, in turn creating the so ominously called ocean dead zones. Additionally, in typical fishing methods, there is a 1:5 ratio of target fish, be it tuna or salmon, to what's affectionately known as bykill, i.e. a multitude of other species, systematically killed in the process. An acre and a half of the Amazon rainforest, the lungs of the earth, and home to 10% of the world's species, is felled every second. And animal agriculture is approximated to contribute to over 90% of this Amazonian deforestation and biodiversity destruction. It is thought that per day up to 100 plant or animal species are lost due to this obscene exploitation. The industry is exceptionally lucrative. Nun Dorothy Steng was assassinated for protesting against the cattle ranching of the Brazilian rainforest, and it is considered that over 1,000 people have been killed for such reasons only in the last 20 years. 10,000 years ago, human beings constituted 1% of all total biomass. Now we represent 98%. In 1812, there were 1 billion of us. In 1912, 1.5 billion. And in 2012, 7 billion human beings. And at present, 7.6 billion. Stomping the globe. One American on average consumes 250 grams of meat per day, whereas estimates for even remote sustainability is 50 grams per week. The lifestyle habits we have ingrained into our behaviours as normal are monstrously deleterious for the planet. We simply have not been living sustainably for too many years. The state of the earth we've idly allowed to emerge is frankly bizarre. But change your worldview and you change the world.